welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, today we are going to be making this dessert that has actually got me very excited because of all of these interesting taste combinations. Don't forget, you can make this tasty little dessert with us as well. All you need to do is visit our website right now, afternoonexpress.co.za, for all of these fabulous ingredients and the recipe. Not your recipe, you said.
Not my recipe, Jono's recipe.
Yeah.
But he's having a baby. Jono's not having a baby.
Okay. That would be interesting if he was. Okay, but it's his recipe, but also very easy to follow so that we can all do it. And it just looks tasty already. So how are we going to get started?
So we're going to start off by working on our caramel. And all we're using is some salati white sugar in our pan and some water. So the idea of the caramel is that it's the water, the sugar dissolves into the water really easily with salati sugar, and then it starts caramelizing, and that's where we develop flavor. We've been talking about the B word, budgets.
Yes.
And this, once again, this is actually a budget dish.
But you're making your own caramel and your own brittle. I mean, that's...
Exactly.
I really actually need to learn how to do this.
And it's
so what
really
did you just
simple.
throw in there?
That's sugar and water. And what's going to happen, like I said, the sugar's going to dissolve into the water. It's going to start caramelizing. Sure. And after a few minutes, what you're going to end up with is a brown caramel. So you're probably wondering, how can I say it's a budget recipe if we're using figs? Figs are in season at the moment. So if you want to get some figs, and if you love figs, now's the time to get it.
Okay.
My girlfriend's crazy about figs. She brought home 1 kilogram of figs. I made fig chutney, fig jam, preserved figs, roasted figs.
Figs in a salad with blue cheese.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's exactly what we had, actually, figs and blue.
Great.
So while that's going, I'm getting carried away.
I know.
So
it's figs, they are inspiring.
We've got our caramel, beautifully caramelized, nice and dark, and we're going to go in with some sliced almonds.
Yeah.
That's going to be for our brittle.
Okay.
So, and then we're not going to toast the nuts before the time. It is actually going to toast while it's busy in the caramel.
And to make them even more budget, you can throw peanuts in there instead to make a peanut brittle.
We could do that, but we're not. Today
I love peanut brittle. I'm a
luxury.
little bit addicted to peanut brittle.
So I've got the nuts in there. I'll let them toast for a little bit. I'll start stirring it. While that's happening, I'm going to get another pan on the go. Let me use this one.
Yeah.
There we go. And we're going to use our delicious figs. So you can see how ripe they are. You can see the sugar that's coming out of them already. So let me get some of the salati plantation in there, which has a slight caramel flavor to it already. You can see that color, so you know it's going to have just more than a natural sweetness. It's going to have a bit of flavor in there as well.
And am I right in saying brown's always a good option to go for when you're choosing sugar?
Absolutely. And for me, as well as if you're going to sweeten a dish, if at all you can add another element of flavor besides just a sweetness, go for it. Why not go for the brown then? That's why I always prefer using that plantation is amazing because it's not too strong. Some people might find that brown sugar has too much of a caramel flavor. The plantation doesn't. It's
no
like
such thing as too much caramel.
So our
we
brittle,
like things sweet in this kitchen.
We're going to just let the brittle, I want to keep it in chunks. So instead of having a flat one, we keep a bit of dimension to it. So just give it a bit of a shake and a nice even spread out in them. So that's our brittle done. And we just need to keep an eye on our
they're
figs.
starting to heat up.
And
but I can't remember which ones I put down first.
I can kind of see. So what we're doing, we're just bringing out even more flavor in the figs. So they've got that natural sweetness. The salati plantation brings out even more. And we're going to get that nice roasted caramel flavor out of the figs.
Great. There you go.
And what you should see, it starts happening. It starts crystallizing on the outside. And we're not going to turn them over and do the other side. We're going to keep some of the freshness on the back. So we'll have that nice crunch in the front and the softness of the figs at the back.
Okay, so you literally leave them in there for a little flash in the pan?
I'd say about 45 seconds to get a really good crust on them. That's the idea. And you can see some of the natural sugars coming out there as well. Let me turn it down a little bit. It's looking a bit hot. So yeah, so we got our nice nutty flavor of the caramel and the almonds, and we're going to bring some more sweetness of the natural sweet sugars of our figs. And then what we're going to do in the next part is we're going to get some Greek natural thick yogurt.
Yes.
We'll whip it through some cream, a little bit of icing sugar, and we're going to plate it up on a platter for all our guests. Everybody's sharing.
That I cannot
Everybody's
wait
getting
to taste because
Smelling
I've never
amazing.
actually even had a warmed up fig before.
It's going to be delicious.
Absolutely delicious. Great. Well, this is to be continued a little bit later, but right now we're going to cross over to Bonnie, who's on the couch with our next very inspirational life coach. Welcome back to Afternoon Express as we're about to add the delicious little finishing touches to our roast fig and almond brittle dessert. This is looking already delicious. Like I could just throw them all together and voila.
As is. So I've got a plate for you and I got my plate. So we're each going to plate up one of our own little dishes. So we're going to mix our yogurt with our cream.
Okay.
But I've seemed to have lost the cream.
You've been hanging out with Danilo far too much.
And he's not in the loft today, so I've got to kind of represent. So we got some Greek yogurt, which is naturally, it's got a bit of a bitter flavor in it.
I
and that
love
just
Greek
cuts
yogurt.
through the creaminess of the creaminess of the cream, yeah.
That looks like a great combo. Why mix the cream and the yogurt? What is it? I mean, just for the flavor, I suppose.
If you think about cream, it's just that richness of cream on its own. By adding the Greek yogurt, it's just another layer of flavor. And just, like I said, it cuts through that richness. And makes it a little bitter. Bitterness is amazing. We actually need to have some bitterness in a dish to actually complement all the other flavors that you've got going on. So, let's get cracking.
Okay, but now, can I just do it how I want to do it?
Yeah, absolutely. So you've got your little spatula.
Okay.
And you can
I
put it
take the
crazy.
nut brittle?
Go for it.
And just break off my piece?
So that's the one that we made earlier, and it's kind of set up really firm like a brittle.
Yeah.
What you could also do is pop it in a food processor, blitz it to make a almond dust, which is also pretty great.
Okay.
And little tiny pieces like this, or massive shards as you're doing it.
Yeah,
But a great
I'm just
way
getting creative here. I don't know
There
what
we
you're
go.
going to do. I just know what I'm going to do.
No, you're doing a great job.
I just
So
kind of invented this on the spot.
we spoke about fig and blue cheese, and we know that goes really well together.
Yeah.
If you wanted to take a complete spin with this dish, you could make a fig and blue cheese pizza, take your almond brittle, blitz that up and sprinkle that over your pizza. That, like I said, the sweetness actually complements the pizza really well, and
Clem, I'm
savouriness.
finished for you. That is such a good idea. Okay, how's what I'm doing? Is this like how it's supposed to be?
It's looking really good. You're doing little canapes.
Yeah.
I'm just doing little bits of art.
Wow. Okay, good. You
And
get
that's,
all arty
so
up
we've
in
got
there.
our figs that we've roasted in the pan. Great, that is looking really
This is
good.
going to taste so good.
So I'm going to take some of these as well. And just kind of sprinkle that over. Like I said, there's no right way or wrong way to do this. You could also do this in little cups and serve them. You can make them ahead of time.
Yeah.
So when your guests arrive, you got them ready made.
I mean, look at that.
That looks really good.
Yeah, I was just thinking of how we're going to, like, you know, make the most out of this dish so that everyone can have a little bit.
We made it work. We made it work.
There you go. Actually, this is quite a good idea. If you maybe want to let us know what your combination looks like out of this recipe, why don't you tweet it to us at Afternoon Express? Because I think I'd like to see what you've done with it. That looks
Absolutely.
amazing. I need to maybe decorate my plate a little bit as well.
I'm actually thinking about it now. It's a great way to actually have all these ingredients out on your table and have your guests plate their own dish. How's that?
Oh, yeah, for one of those really creative evenings. And, of course, if you want this delicious recipe, all you need to do is visit our website, afternoonexpress.co.za, and all of this juicy yumminess will be there. Clem,
We did
this
so well.
looks
We did well.
amazing. I mean, one of these canapes have my name on it.
Express yourself. How you doing, YouTube fam? Thank you so much for watching, sharing and commenting. We love hearing from you, so be sure to keep up to date with all things Afternoon Express by clicking the subscribe button right here.